Hi everyone, my name is Christi and I am a private practice owner of an occupational therapy practice as well as a business partner in a newly started assistive devices business. Mareka asked me to talk a little bit about running and opening a startup business, and that's what I'm going to try and do today to the best of my abilities. So yeah, my hope is that you'd take something away from this today, even if it's something small, and yeah, just feel encouraged to continue doing what you're doing and following your dreams. So yeah, my private practice is called Ruach Occupational Therapy. I treat patients who have suffered from either strokes or physical injuries, and I help them in their rehabilitation process. I see them either in acute settings like hospitals or in their houses. And my other business is called Adaptability, and this I started with a colleague and friend so the two actually go hand in hand, and that's why I want to talk to you about both of them. So Adaptability, we started towards the end of 2022. We are both occupational therapists. We work with people who either have very high levels of disability or low levels of disability, or are just in fact old, or they need assistance of some kind. And yeah, we just saw that so many people have these needs and cannot afford to get the necessary items or devices that they need, and so then Adaptability was born. And yeah, so our goal is to adapt a person's ability, and that's where the name comes from. And yeah, so we make, or we find, or we buy assistive devices and resell them at an affordable price, and we try and make it more accessible for everyone and anyone to live their best lives and to live as independent as possible, which ultimately is our goal as occupational therapists. So my tips or expert tips for starting a business would be, firstly, to identify a need and try and figure out how you can, to the best of your abilities, fill that need. And that is what we did with Adaptability. Is we saw there was a need. We really wanted to help our patients and their families, or people who don't necessarily know that they need something that is on the market. A person that might be struggling with opening a drawer, for example, and not knowing that there are certain items available on the market for them. So identifying key role players to help you make it a success of your business. That would be colleagues, mentors, investors, someone who you can trust, someone who you can go to talk to brainstorm with, to use as a support system. Networking and marketing is so important, and I think that's that's something that I actually took for granted, was how important it is to network and how important it is to get your name out there. It's also a bit about selling yourself, and for me personally, that's the hardest thing to do, is to sell myself, is to honestly, like, am I the best person for the job? Am I what makes me different? What makes my business different? What makes my practice different from all the other practices or businesses out there? And that's the thing. If you believe in it, if you believe in the dream, if you believe in yourself, then it's easy. It's easy to 100% back yourself and be like, you know what? This is the best you can get. And you only get that by offering the best service or doing the best you can, and having people rely on you and trust you, and then further market for you. Using social media not only as a form of research, but also a form of marketing. Social media has made the world so small, and it's actually such a great tool to use. For my private practice, I often get referrals through social media. Someone asking for a therapist in an area, a specific field of expertise, and other people commenting and tagging me. We also use it especially for our other business, Adaptability. We use it a lot for marketing purposes. Something I want to say here about social media is that it's definitely not my strong point. I don't, in my personal capacity, post a lot. I don't really use social media effectively, if I can say that. But for a business, it's great. And if it's something that you really struggle with or you don't see as your strong point, get someone to help you with it. There are so many people who now specialize in social media marketing. Learn to use the social media resources to the best of their abilities. Something that we often use is, my colleague is great with creating pretty pictures and the posts, and I'm a little bit technically stronger than what she is. So she would create the post, I'd go on to Facebook and I'd schedule a whole month's worth of posts ahead. So I don't really have time to sit every day and create a post and post them, but Facebook specifically has a great scheduling post. So you can schedule a whole month's posts beforehand in one day, and you don't have to worry about doing anything else. You can link your Instagram and your Facebook, and only have to do the work on one of the platforms. So really get to know the social media platforms and what they can offer you. And if you still struggle, get someone to help you. If you have a friend or a colleague or a family member, get them to help you. Budgeting, the B word. Something that in my personal capacity as well, I'm not the greatest with, but I've had to learn. Being an adult, I think very quickly you do have to just learn how to work with your money, and being a business owner, it's something that I definitely had to really put in the effort to figure out. I am a people's person. I don't like conflict. I don't like asking people for money, and here all of a sudden I have to ask people for money, otherwise I can't put food on my table. So that's really something that I would encourage you to really have a strict budget and stick to it. Have someone who helps you with your finances, whether it's an accountant or someone helping you with your tax, or a family member or a close friend keeping you accountable on how much you spend and what you earn. It's really a tricky thing, earning your own money, having all this money available for you to spend and to use, and now all of a sudden you can afford this and you can afford that, but then you realize, oh my goodness, I have to pay tax now, or all those all those very adulty things. So make sure you have good mentors, make sure you have people you can rely on and you can trust to help you with just with figuring out what it is that you need to do and what not. Continuously reevaluate your budget. So things change, what you spend your money on changes. In my case, the amount of patients I see in a month changes or varies. So continuously reevaluate your budget. Know how much it takes to run your business on a monthly basis, and what's the minimum that you need to earn to be able to just pay all your expenses. Something that's really important to remember or to take into consideration is what you initially put in. The amount of money you initially have to invest in your business can take quite some time for you to see the return on that. So don't put all your eggs in a basket. Make sure you have some capital or funds available for when months are tough. And don't find yourself in a difficult position. Have realistic and flexible goals, especially with regards to a timeline. And here I actually want to share a testimony about my timeline. So 2 years ago, we after a lot of prayer and talking to mentors and everything, my husband and I decided that we were going to move from Gauteng to George, and I couldn't find a job. I just couldn't find a job. Opening my own practice was something that I did not want to do at all. That was just nuts. And after quite a few months of sending out my CV and trying to find a job in George, I decided, or I realized, that the only way out, or the only option for me, was to start my own practice. I knew I had enough skills. I knew I had the right qualifications to make a success out of it. I just did not want to do it. I was scared of all the budgeting and asking people for money and all these big things. But so 2 years ago, 29th of March to be exact, I got the message that my practice had been registered, and 2 days later I got a job in George and was so happy about it. I realized that I did not need to use my own practice. I got a job. We moved down to George, and that was it. Didn't have to worry about it, but was obedient. I registered at all of the necessary medical aids. I did all the admin that I needed to do for that, for opening my own practice and running my own practice. Fast forward 2 years later, January 2023, I again felt a stirring in my heart and realized that the Lord was telling me it's time to move on. It's time to actually step out of the preparation season and move into the fulfillment season. And that's when I decided that I was going to resign from being an employee and take the leap of faith to become an employer, or self-employed. And in March 2023, exactly 2 years after I registered my practice, I started working under my practice number. And it was amazing because I could start and just go ahead, because the preparation had been done 2 years earlier. I could submit my billing, I could liaise with the medical aids, I could confidently advertise and market my practice because all the preparation had been done. And that's what I want to say, is sometimes we have these goals set for us that after 3 months, this is the amount of money I want to earn, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to be. But actually life doesn't work like that in anything. And if I hadn't been obedient in 2021, 2 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to see the fruits of it now, 2 years later. So I just want to encourage you with that, is if you believe in your dream, if you're obedient, if you follow your heart, then there will be success, and it will all be to the benefits of your business, and in my case, to the glory of God, who I 100% know his hand is in this. And he carries me daily, and it's been so amazing to see how taking that very, very scary leap of faith at the beginning of this year, by quitting my job, and just trusting in his provision, he honestly has gone above and beyond all my expectations, and I'm so grateful for that. I want to end off with, every business is different, every person is different, and that's amazing. I have 2 different types of businesses. I have a private medical practice, and I have a business where I sell things. Each business has a different set of rules and regulations. Each business, you need to adhere to certain things differently. So do your research, make sure you speak to the right people, make sure you know what is expected of you to stay on the right side of the law. That's really important. And what is expected of you as a person to provide the best service that you possibly can. I just want to motivate you and encourage you to follow your dream. And if starting your business is something that you really want to do, yeah, talk to the right people. You're welcome to contact me. I'm happy to help as best as I can, and all the best on this very amazing venture that you are on or about to embark on. Thank you.